Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Arlene Diamco, the MultiDimensional MD. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. My mission is to help wake up medicine and bring spirit back and to help us normalize these deep conversations of what's really important in our lives, mind, body, and spirit. Today, I wanted to talk to you about 8 ways to see and feel how beautiful you really are, because every one of you out there is so beautiful, and I can see that in you. And I want you to see that for yourself as well and to feel it, because there's so much tension in the world right now. And if we could help to lighten that vibe, to help lift everyone's spirits, then I would so love to be able to do that. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my experience with beauty and growing up. So my background is Filipino, and I grew up in the Atlanta area in the Southeast US. And I went to a pretty uniform school. So everybody looked different than I did. Like I was either the 1 or 2 Asian people in the whole class, always, like growing up. And that was my norm. So I didn't necessarily think there was anything wrong with growing up there, but I could feel that I was different. And it was pointed out to me many times, at all different ages, which is, from the little kids, which is that natural curiosity, but even later on through middle school and high school, when we feel like the kids are actually learning more and knowing more, but I would still get questions like, how can you see when your eyes are slanted? Which is I didn't even understand the question. So at times I would want to conform to what the standards of beauty were, which were like more the norm. And so this is what sometimes people want to do, is like you want to conform, or you could do the opposite. You want to be like so different that you stand out, right? So I wanted to fit in. And of course, at the time, then perms were really popular. So I got a perm in like 5th or 6th grade, which was really looking back, it was just really funny. So I didn't learn my lesson that first time around, because I got a perm a second time, and it just really kind of ruins your hair because it dries it out and everything. And I did it for this hair show, and I so wanted to be a part of the show, because if you're a part of the show, then I thought that meant that you were beautiful. So they asked me, can we perm your hair? And I was like, sure. And I hated it. I hated the look, but I so wanted to be a part of this that I was willing to give up what I liked. And this is like to myself and to my own look, to be a part of something that I thought was like the more culturally acceptable norm for what was beautiful. So here I am in middle school with this, this crazy permed hair. Maybe I should have dug up a picture for you guys. I might. We'll see. I'll check out what I got. But they had permed my hair, like they had left the top part flat and then done like crazy curls after that. And then a friend of mine said to me, "Oh, Arlene, I think they forgot to perm the top part." Anyway, I was so embarrassed, and I wanted to wash it out, and I tried to wash it out, but it was permanent, so I had to wait for it to grow out. So that's just a kind of funny story about me growing up and trying to like be a part of this social norm of what's beautiful. And I also, grew up that people were watching beauty pageants, and the interesting thing is like there were no male beauty pageants, right? It was like this female concept of like what you were supposed to look like. You were supposed to be beautiful. And in some places, it's like at that time growing up, it's like we were supposed to be like tan. So we were always trying to get tan, which is crazy. And then if I went to the Philippines, then everyone was trying to be pale. And so they were trying to stay out of the sun. So it's just this crazy concept of like what is actually beautiful. But the first thing is that I wanted to go through. Number one is to accept that everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. And this is something that the philosopher Confucius said. And so I wish I had really had that concept of knowing that, gosh, beauty is everywhere, but it's really up to you to see it, because then I wouldn't be chasing that confirmation or that acceptance from people around me to confirm what was beautiful. And each and every person is beautiful, but it's up to you to be able to see that. And for yourself, sometimes it can be not always the easiest. But once you start to be able to open up and see that you were divinely created and you were born beautiful and you still are that same person, that same soul. And once you start to realize that, it starts to become easier to know that, gosh, you are beautiful every single day, no matter what you look like when you first wake up in the morning. So accept that everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. It reminds me of something my oldest daughter said some years ago, that that everyone has a sense of humor, but you may not understand it. So everyone has some kind of funny, everyone has some kind of beauty, and it's up to us to kind of like be able to see that in the world. It's like one of our main purposes is to be able to see the beauty and love in the world. And that's the first thing, is that once you realize that not everyone will see beauty in the same way that you do, and maybe not everyone will see you as beautiful. And that is actually okay, because if you see that for yourself, that's already enough. And once you realize that it's up to each person to see beauty, so it's not up to you to convince somebody else that you are beautiful. That's your job for yourself, and that's other person's job for them. So yeah, just to relax into that, and that you do not have to convince the world that you are beautiful. You just know it. So number two is to appreciate the beauty around you, because where you focus grows. And often you catch yourself and are really honest with your deep inner thoughts. You may find that when you look in the mirror and you know that you're critical of yourself, when you look into the world, see if you are critical of others as well. And at first, you may not be able to see that, but you have to be really honest with yourself, because it's okay, because the ego mind, that's part of its job to always compare. So you could go around, I like that, I don't like that, I like that hair, I don't like that hair, I like that dress, I don't like that dress, I like the way that yard looks, I don't like the way, so that ego mind is constantly busy doing that. So that's fine. Just realize that the ego's job is to compare, but your job is to see beauty around you. So to really appreciate the beauty around you. And when you do that, where you focus grows. And so you'll be able to see more beauty in yourself as well. Because where you're drawn, where your attention is drawn, is really a mirror for what's going on the inside. So then that way we can align our conscious mind with, how we want to feel. And so when we choose to see and be grateful and thankful for those beautiful things, the colors, the landscape, the sun, the kids laughing and playing, whatever it is, or around you that's beautiful, and then you feel that for yourself, then it'll be easier also to see it for you. It's the same because it's a mirror, right? As within, so without. You see it out, you see it in. You see it in, you see it out. So you can start from either side. Number 3, to realize that beauty has depth. It's more than skin deep. Of course, people know this, but it's more, do you really know it? Do you really put your trust in that beauty is more than skin deep. And you can probably think of people, maybe famous people or influential people that are, culturally accepted as really beautiful and gorgeous. But not all of them would you want to be like really good friends with. And so then you can, and then there's other people that maybe culturally are not accepted as like the model look, but you would so like to hang out with them. And so there you see like, gosh, there is way more than what you see on the outside. And it's that depth of character. And so it's creating a beauty in how you live. And it's being able to live in a way that you would like to hang out with yourself. You would like to be a friend with yourself. And when you see that, when you do that, then that is really beautiful. And that really like emphasizes this inner beauty that starts to shine out through what you do, through how you speak, through the way your eyes sparkle. So that inner sparkle is starts to get drawn out. So it's more than skin deep. And really we go for that depth, because if you believe that, then live like you believe it, right? It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to really feel it and experience it. So bring that cognitive understanding into your experience and make it a conscious choice every single day. So number 4 is to see your quirks as part of your beauty. We are all unique and beautiful. So it's really interesting, right? Because we're all part of this fabric of the universe, this oneness. But at the same time, those patterns and characteristics and vibrations that make you uniquely you are also beautiful. It's like seeing a garden of all different flowers. One flower is not saying to the other flower, I'm more beautiful than you. They are all just being themselves all together. And so those quirks that you're like, you maybe get yourself down about, oh, it's part of like your uniqueness in the world and your voice in the world. And realize that for other people too. I know that sometimes, even, for me, of course, there's like quirks in my family or my husband. And sometimes I'm like, oh gosh, they drive me crazy. Maybe I'll catch myself. Oh, I wish he wouldn't do that. But like he walks really loudly, like stomp, stomp, stomp. But then somebody told me, this energy healer, she said, oh, part of it is that he's really connected to the earth. And so his feet are drawn towards the ground. And when she said that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's what he does. He really is. They're kind of stomping. He's like, yes, he can't help it because he's so connected to the earth. And then all of a sudden that quirk, which I thought was a little bit annoying at first, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Oh my honey is like really grounded, and that's why he does that. And at the end of the day, if I didn't hear that sound and he was missing or from my life, I would really miss it. And so to be able to see those quirks as like something beautiful, and to really appreciate it. And just like that, you can turn it like a 180 for yourself and for other people. Number 5, be kind to yourself and others. Kindness is beautiful. So this is the same thing, that beauty has a depth to it. So making that conscious choice to be kind, even in situations that you might find difficult, because it will... And it has to be authentic, right? Because we can't like sugarcoat it in this like Southern, oh, bless your heart, where it really means like, oh, poor them, like, oh, that's crazy. But it's really this more authentic, like, I want to be kind because that's how I would want someone to treat me. And when you have a neighbor that does that for you, or a friend or a family member who is kind to you, when you're down, or maybe you've done something, maybe you don't feel like you deserve people to be nice to you because something's done, but somebody is nice to you anyway. I mean, just thinking about that makes me want to tear up, because how beautiful is that? And you see that depth of the beauty, and that is so much more meaningful than anything that we could buy in the store, anything we could do to our outer looks, and that is something that you remember that someone does. And so when you do that for other people, then that is really beautiful and radiates beauty. Number 6, see yourself through the eyes of a baby and be curious, because oh my gosh, that fresh new baby, straight born, created, the universe like brought to its earthly form. And when that baby looks around, it's not going like, ooh, that one's beautiful, that one's not. They may be feeling your energy like, oh, they can feel like how loving and kind you are, but they are so not looking at what the cultural norms of beauty are. So take that fresh perspective, and it's like you just woke up. You're just born into this earthly plane. And look at yourself like that. Like first you were from spirit and you didn't have this physical form, and you didn't be able to experience these senses, touch and sight and smell and hearing, everything. And then you get to embody this experience of, gosh, what it is like to be in a body and to be able to feel with all these different senses. And sometimes the senses can be like too much, and sometimes they feel more pleasing than others, but all of it is so beautiful because in spirit form we don't get to experience that. So when we get to embody, it is such a gift, and that is so beautiful. And when you see it through these fresh eyes of the baby, I mean, they're like exploring every part of them, right? They got their hands in their mouth, they're drooling, they poop, they pee, they don't care. They don't think that, it's less beautiful that they did that. And they're adorable, right? So see yourself through the eyes of a baby, freshly born, woken up into the universe on this earthly plane. Number 7, understand that your pure presence is beautiful. I mean, how amazing is it when you talk to somebody and they are listening with their all. They are 100% there. They are not running through their to-do list. They are not looking at the clock, checking their phone, waiting for the next thing to come around. They are so fully present with you. And that presence it just feels so comforting and nourishing and delicious, and just it's healing. And it's healing for you, it's healing for the people you're around. And it's like when you are around, if you're around at somebody that is so present, you just want to be around them, because there's something, and it's hard to describe. It's like they just got this extra something, this sparkle. But the thing is, everybody has that. That is that inner light within you, that baby that was born fresh from, delivered from the universe. That is you. And so if you can give your full presence, and that's like having your awareness fully in your body, where you can feel your body, you see your 100% presence in terms of like what you see, what you hear, what you taste, what you smell. You can like ground your presence into your body like that. And when you are there for yourself like that, oh my gosh, that is so gorgeous and so beautiful, and it cannot be faked. So do it, practice it any moment, any day, anytime you want to radiate beauty, anytime, whether you're at a job or you're at home with the kids, anytime you really want to just bring something more, or any random moment, then bring in that full presence. And it speaks volumes without even having to use words. So number 8, declare your beauty like the universe does. I am, therefore I am beautiful. And this is so amazing when you make a declaration like that and you feel it. So you bring it from your cognitive thoughts and you feel it in your body. And maybe at first It's you practicing saying it, maybe first without the mirror and then in front of the mirror until you believe it. That is just you basically bring that beauty that's already there and you let it shine. It's like you take the covers, the veil off of the light of your inner beauty, and you remove it when you say, I am, therefore I am beautiful. And you can let that shine in all directions. And remember, I gave a talk on water, and water has memory. So when we speak these words, it means something. And the water of your body, which you are mostly water, remembers that vibration. And each cell in your body starts to radiate that inner beauty. And it comes forth just shining in all directions. And you could even do this, with a cup of water. Now that I mentioned water, it gives me more ideas. You take a cup of water, or you put it on your water cooler or pitcher or whatever, and put the words on it. Beautiful, love, amazing, awesome, whatever you want. But if you put just even beauty, love, I am beautiful, put that on your water, just a paper, tape it on, and let it sit for the day. If it's a nice clear day, you could put it out in the sun and maybe cover it so the bugs don't get into it. And that sunlight will even kind of let that message permeate into the water even more. And then drink it. It's like you've made your own essence of beauty, this elixir. And when you drink it, every cell in that water is also bringing that message of like, I am beautiful. And then when you drink it, you really feel that, and it spreads that message all through your cells, and your heart is helping with that flow. So the blood is fluid, mostly, remember, we're mostly water, and that blood flow is carrying that message all throughout your body. Because you are making that statement. You are creating who you are. And by stating, declaring, I am, therefore, I am beautiful, then so you are. So that's what I got for you today. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I'd love to hear from you. Always, place a comment, extra bonus. I'll promise to reply to every comment. And if you haven't been to my Instagram, it's at All Worlds Health. And my Facebook is All Worlds Health and Pediatrics, and website is allworldshealth.com. And as a heads up, I was thinking of doing some lives, just like really quick ones, at a certain time every day for a series of doing like a prayer circle or meditation circle, or that raise the vibe kind of circle. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. I'll probably do it on Instagram or something like that. It'll just be like quick pop-ups, and I'm not going to keep them recorded, but it's just something where we can get together and connect live and be able to raise the vibe. So if anyone has like special requests or prayers, and I know so many people going through difficult times. I mean, the world is going through a difficult time right now. So to take this conscious moment on a regular basis, and then together we can help to raise our vibe. So lots of love to you. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you next week, 11 a.m. EST.